a man's manhood is a snake. If you allow it to enter you, it will bite you. And when it bites you inside there, it will release its venom inside you. And then the venom will make you sick and will change you. Bruh, like all this stuff, I was scared to death.
Welcome to Ray Talks Podcast, a podcast that reflects on the global Ghanaian society, the people and their lifestyle. With your host, Raymond. We are happy to have you join us. Welcome, everyone. Beautiful people, you're all welcome. This is the very first episode of the Ray Talks Podcast. Yeah, and I am Raymond, your host. I am being backed here by these wonderful people. We have Nana P here, we have Akusia here, and then Thomas. Yeah. Today we're going to take us back to the childhood, but before I do that, I will let my guests introduce themselves to you. So I think we'll start with Nana P. Just a short introduction.
Why don't you start with the ladies?
Yeah, okay. So the saying goes, ladies first. Okay, Akusia, let's go.
Hi, everyone. So I am Akusia, as you have heard. Yeah, you'll get to know me as we go on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, back to Nana P.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Nana P, based in Hamburg. And then we're about to talk and then discuss and then delve deeper into issues on Ray Podcast. Yes.
Okay, Thomas.
I'm Thomas JB. I'm talking from England. And I'm very sure at the end of the show, now people will get to know me very well.
Okay. Great. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all. And I really appreciate everyone that has tuned in tonight to listen to the podcast. This is the very first episode. And like I said, we're going to take us back to the childhood. Yeah. So yeah, let's get the ball rolling. Before we start, is anyone or was anyone a DB here? Do you have any DBs among us? Don't say no because your faces look like.
What do you classify a DB?
Okay, yeah. So we all know. Okay, in Ghana, when we say DB, it probably means your parents were rich or are rich.
How do you know your parents are rich?
You know, we have this kind of saying. When we were kids, every kid thought his or her mom or their parents had money, especially the dad. Every kid thought the dad had money until you grow up, and then you start facing the realities of life, and then you realize, oh, okay, it wasn't really like that. And sometimes it's also like that. Yeah.
Right. So, but I feel like there are some things that you would know, like should tell you or you should be able to know that, oh, your parents have money than maybe some other parents. Maybe by the school you went to, like the fees they were paying or they've paid, the home you were living in, the cars they drove or drive,
yeah.
or well.
Okay.
Okay.
It's understandable what you're saying. Okay, so Thomas, how was your childhood like?
I would say I lived just a normal life, but me growing up, I was a family. I thought, say, and then I know, say, like they are okay. I wouldn't say they are very rich or DB or something like that. No, they are very okay. And when I was very young, I saw stuff that my dad used to do because then time, me a boy. I know some papa were rich, and then we get neoma bar those stuffs. We your container as at that time, you could see talking in the early 90s, 2000s down Ebano. Say yeah, or your container 40 feet and maybe to assume and then those stuffs now man for trouble so no maybe too corny the day.
Basically, Thomas, you were living a DB life. You were kind of living a
not really
DB
DB,
life.
because me JSS, as I completed the junior high school, I was not getting stuff like that, because I would say that one was my fault, because me switched from me being a good child. I just wanted to be on the streets. Not me far streets, the lives from the streets.
So we're gonna talk about the challenges later. We'll come to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Let me go to Nana P. Nana P, how was yours like?
Yeah, mine was okay. I was born in Kumasi.
Yeah.
My mom lived here in Germany, so she had to give me to my aunt in Accra.
Okay.
So I didn't see my childhood wasn't with my mom. I was 10. Yeah, I think in between 8 and 9, my mom came to Ghana. So I saw my mother, but I never knew if she was my real mother.
Okay.
So I think when I was 10, my aunt passed on in Accra, so I had to come to Kumasi. So my mom came to settle down in Ghana and moved to Kumasi. Yeah, so me back Kumasi, I'm in Tichi. Was Accra, because Accra was my aunt, not Ga, so it was English and then Ga in the house. So I need to start my chi and everything from Kumasi, like proper. Till now, Accra, me teach but like I don't share you understand. So yeah, I came to Kumasi, went to State Experimental. It's close to Maria Matzori, where Thomas.
So yeah.
Yeah, so State Experimental, like had my class 35 to JSS, and I went to Aduman Senior High School. And then after that, I did my tertiary like in media. I started in Console Radio, did some productions for TV3, JMFM and Fox FM, and then here I am in Germany.
I see.
Yeah, but my mom was very hardworking. Mine was like a single parent and something. My dad came in when then I was in Essex, so my mom did everything by the grace of God. My mom and my family here, all my family like are here. My brother brought me here into Germany, so like they did very well, especially my mom. Like everything, car, everything, by the grace of God. Unfortunately, she also passed on 2014, so I had to come here 2015. Yeah.
I see. So yeah, this was the DB thing I was talking about. You can see some
Mine
DB
was
features in
Mama
there.
B. I was saying mine was Mama B because
Mama B. Yeah. I mean, talking about single parents and stuff. My mom was also a single parent. My dad was like never in the picture. So growing up, I mean, it was my mom and my mom's family
Yeah.
that really took care of me. And God being so good, I wasn't really needing anything because they were always there for me. I went to one of the big schools back there around Mile 7. That was the JSS I went. African Child, everyone that knows Mile 7 very well knows that school. And it wasn't a rich neighborhood though, but let's say amongst all the buildings there, I think Yepen and I travel Alafa Ifio. So it was kind of nice, a big compound. All the kids in the area, most of them were coming there to play. I wasn't really allowed to go out that much. I would say, like, growing up, I thought also my mom was rich, like the same thinking. But yeah, when I grew up a bit, I realized, oh, this woman was really suffering for me. Yeah, together with her family, my uncle and stuff. Yeah, so I mean, Akusia, what's up?
Okay, so I grew up in a very strict Christian home.
Yeah.
So my dad is an apostle, and so at the time growing up, I had three older sisters, and then two younger, so we were six girls. And I remember my dad in our bedroom, for instance, we had like the bunk beds. It was kind of like you'd go to the boarding house, that kind of, we had a time we had to sleep. We had studies teachers coming home to teach us extra classes. So one thing I remember my dad always said was he had a different upbringing compared to what he gave us.
Yeah.
And he wanted to make sure that everything he missed as a child, he gave it to his children. So
Nice.
basically, we went to the good schools. I went to Queensland. I went to Achimota in. So in class 1, I started at Chimota, and then I remember my teacher had spanked me, and I came back home with a mark, and then my dad changed my school to Queensland, which is in Spintex, and then so I grew up in Sakumono,
Yeah.
almost yeah, for a long time, and then later moved to East Legon. So, and I went to the private schools, not because they were fancy or something. My dad didn't want me to go too far, and I guess he could afford it. So yeah,
That's
it
the
was
idea right there.
very strict but very comfortable at the same time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So Nana P, what are some of the obstacles you had to face when growing up?
Well, obstacles, I would say, the fatherhood role in the family. You understand, in the house. My mother was a father and a mother at the same time. You understand? There are certain things, and then there are sometimes when we are growing, there are certain things that we do, and then we don't. When we have a masculine voice, it will tame us down. But with the feminine, with mama, like, yo, mom, what's up? Like, let's go, let's do it. Like, you're cool and so cool and mother to the extent that if say, if you get mess up, cry, you come home like, mom's gonna cover you up.
I see.
I remember like I went to school, like I was a school prefect. The went to this KB, they gave to me as a school prefect. Like, I was able to handle it. I squashed the money with my friends. Like I went home, I told my mom, like I'm done with this. When mom said, "You are done. You've completed your school." He said, "You are done. You are done with school." But you know what she did? She made me really felt it so bad. Yeah, I'm gonna tell your headmaster, everybody that you're squandering the money. Like I was very, very scared. Like, what is gonna happen? Like we had like 2 weeks to open school. And then another piece not gonna come to school anymore. Hey man, like it was something else. So like the day I was going to school, she sat me
I'm
down.
sorry. This reminded me of something that happened. My dad actually came to my school to report me to the headmistress that I had. So I had taken one midterm and I did not go home on the first day. And then my sister happened to meet someone from my class, and then he said, "Oh, we're on midterm." So I went home and my dad didn't say anything, and I mean we vibed, and then I went back to school, only for me to be called by my headmistress, and then my dad was sitting there like he's so it's crazy. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah. Some parents used to do that a lot. And it was so embarrassing for us. Okay, Nana P.
yeah, so like I think a day before school reopens and my mom sat me down and said, "Hey, get us the money, get this. Make sure that you give it to everybody. That you scratch the money and then make sure you don't do that again." I was like, wow. Like. So she got me covered. If maybe my daddy was in the house, I would have never even thought of even spending the money. That's what I'm trying to say. So like there are some certain things when you get a masculine thing there,
Yeah.
it really helps a lot. So I would say that was the obstacle that maybe I went through. By the grace of God, through my aunties and my brothers and everybody, like when I say I saw something like hardship, I didn't see because they're always covered. Always. I was a little boy, as like, and sometimes when you are growing, you would want to explore. You understand? But through it all, they were there. So I will not say something like hardship or suffering. I never saw them. So now that I'm a man of my own, I have my wife, I have my family. You understand that one? We'll get there. So for me, from my childhood, by the grace of God, I never saw something like obstacle. It was only this masculine thing that it was missing. This daddy vibe, it wasn't there. Yeah.
Thomas, did
Man.
you face some challenges?
Yeah, challenges here. A lot. Because I chose my own ways. That started when I lost my granny. So I decided to do because my mom is not around, my dad is not around. My mom lived in Accra. Like I have siblings, but I would say we are not from like same father. Like
Yeah.
but we are same, but we're not from same father. and then they were like, I'm the youngest, my mom's last baby, and then my dad's only son. So, but I have big brothers that they were all in Accra, and then my grandmom passed, and then I chose to live the life that I want. So where I was living in Kumasi, I lived in Bremai. So me growing up, we were tagged. This is TikTok life, so I don't want to. Yeah, with this online thing.
Yeah.
So I started engaging in that. So I was getting money, like, a credit come. So my dad was getting a whole lot of complaints that, like, oh, Banisi say crowd made a few, or then one boys be like, he then some guys be the role, and then he's not even staying in the house these days, and he's like, when we talk to him, he's not listening. So he decided that then I will just leave you, do what you think that you want to do. So I sat down and I spoke to myself that no, I'm coming from a house that I get anything that I need. I don't really stress. So why am I doing this? And the moment that time that I told myself that I'm not doing that stuff anymore, he has also made up his mind that he's not going to mind me at all. So it wasn't easy. I tired, like, I would say from the age of 14 till my early 20s. It wasn't easy.
Okay.
Because I had to prove myself that whatever he was hearing about me
Was not true.
was not true.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really easy. If I tell you that me, like, I'll be DB, or my dad lives here, and then you wouldn't believe it. Because like boy be who be like, he's saying this. I don't think it's true. Unless maybe I've taken you to where I live, and you be like, why do you have all these that you want to live the life on the streets? Charlie, you for go home. The boy started advising me and then stuff. So I had to prove that all that he heard wasn't true, and then it wasn't easy. I suffer. Like me growing up, it was tough. I couldn't even tell people that me, like Charlie, me, my old boy, he get do. I couldn't even tell people. Because, like, if you are telling people, they wouldn't believe it. I go, yeah, we and you, we or we day here. And like you are saying, say, your puppy is richer. Or like, what do you mean?
I
So
believe
it wasn't easy.
sometimes the parents, they tend to ignore us or stop caring about us. Not that they don't like us, but it's like a way of scolding us.
Coding us. So,
They
like,
probably don't listen to
me,
them.
I tired. So, I did a lot of stuff. And one of my guys came down there. He said, my brother is talking. He knows everything. Yeah, bro, Kumasi, like, hustle. That
Okay.
about we tend to hustle a man. Me, every job some I do some before.
For me, I think I will go a bit with what Nana P said, because, like I said, my mom was the only person taking care of me or us at that time, because it was me and my younger brother who passed on. Me, so rest in peace. Me and my younger brother, and so my mom was like the man and the woman. It wasn't easy.
Yeah.
There were so many things that I would have wanted, like growing up, which I didn't get. But then life still goes on. So there were a few challenges on my side also. There were a few challenges, but yeah, God being great, I think now we are at a different level in life. Like Nana P said, we
Yeah. Different level.
because we still have strength and life in us. Yeah. So, what do you think has changed recently when it comes to bringing up a child, or like in Ghana, Akusia? What do you think has changed from how you were brought up
In Ghana,
in
I'm
Ghana?
trying to
Let's say in
hear.
Ghana. We will connect it to here.
Oh, okay. What do I think has changed?
In
So for
recent,
me, like, I mean, you missed the question, the obstacles question, yeah?
Yeah.
For me, so I grew up with both parents. But at an early age, I became a victim or a child victim of divorce. You know, my parents got divorced at some point, which really affected me, affected my sisters, my other siblings, and I saw how it personally affected me. You understand? And but it didn't I mean, it affected me because I was very attached to my parents, both parents. I loved my mom so much, but and I wanted her around every point in time, and I couldn't have that privilege anymore, you know. And so I spent more time with my dad, or I lived with my dad. We lived with our dad, and here my dad was being the female and the male, or the father and the mother, trying to play both sides. So he's an alpha male. He's a man, and we were all girls. So he was like extra strict, like things that maybe didn't have to demand so much seriousness. I got that, you know, or parts where, you know, you would have to be soft or explain. So for me, for instance, right, I remember my dad used to always tell me, um, a man's manhood is a snake. If you allow it to enter you, it will bite you. And when it bites you inside there, it will release its venom inside you. And then the venom will make you sick and will change you. Bruh, like all this stuff, I was scared to death. I
This is
was,
wild.
you get me? Like I was scared at some point until I got to some point I realized, oh, it's not really a snake. What is it? Then I want to know what it takes. Bruh, I didn't leave it where he was even talking about. I put it in other places. That's to tell. If he had probably opened up more, I mean, he did his best. He did a lot, you know. But then like when it comes to talking about sex education with children,
Yeah.
I didn't have that. But now for me, for instance, I do that with my children. I talk to my children about wet dreams. You know, I have a son, I have a daughter. I talk to them about puberty. I talk to them about what they should expect. Things that my father felt more reserved, or my mom felt more reserved. May her soul rest in peace, my dear mom.
Amen.
Yeah, I am trying to do better, you know, which they did a great job. Look at me. Yeah, so
So,
I think, yeah, now it's more, parents are more communicative with their children compared to
so now
before.
you come to what has changed. Now you come to that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So parents are much more communicative. Yeah,
Yeah. Parents
and
are
I
more.
think they are also telling facts, like you said. They will no longer tell you a man's manhood is like a snake, but then they will tell you something that, yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Nana P, what do you think has changed in recent times?
I think when we were young and then growing up, you know, this kind of when you're in a bus or you're in a truck or in a taxi, and then especially let's say in the trotro or in the buses, like the public transports, when you see an elderly person come, irrespective that you've paid or not, you have to stand up for them to sit down. But in our age, irrespective, see a 70-year-old man with a stick, this or climb but nothing, it's not going to stand up. I've seen this kind of respect thing has really reduced in our system. You understand? Here is a different thing altogether. But way back in Ghana, you know, those are the time that when you see and even an elderly person carrying stuff from the market, you can just take it and then go and escort the person to his or her house. Then the person, oh, God bless you for helping me and stuff like that. These things I don't see it like before. We used to do it, but I don't see this young ones doing it now. You understand? And then they don't care if you insult them or like you're doing something they don't like. They can just speak their mind anyhow to
Insult
you,
you back.
Yeah, yeah.
just like anyhow to you, and they don't care
You know,
about it.
when we were growing up, every adult in your neighborhood or Yeah, every
Like a
grown
father or a
person.
mother to you. You don't have to be their biological
Yeah,
parents.
they were like your parents. Every grown person was like your mom or your dad.
Mhm.
So they could scold you at any time.
Mhm.
They could report you to your parents.
Mhm.
You gave them the maximum respect and everything. But now I don't think it's really there. Like now P was saying.
That
Now
has
I
changed. That
don't
has
think it's really
changed.
there.
That has changed.
Yeah, yeah. That, and for me, I think that's bad. That's bad.
This is something I actually taught my kids. So first, when we first moved to Germany, right, my
Yeah.
my son would see an old lady carrying her stuff, like a white old lady, and he would go to help her, and then they would say no. No, like some are racist, some I will just look at him and like, no, leave me alone. Some will be nice and say, no, it's okay, it's fine. Some actually thought it was rude, like someone you want to help, you can help them, or you do get it. And then
Mhm.
I go out and then I'm getting someone says, "Ah, Ubanini, is this your son?" Thankfully, it's something I've been able to incorporate inside my kids that, it's. I mean, it's good to help.
Thomas, what do you think has changed?
A whole lot. Like in Ghana,
Yeah.
a whole lot. Cause like my big brother was saying, like you meeting an elderly person, you help, you try helping and then stuff, and those stuffs, it's not there anymore. And then
Oh, thank you.
the youth nowadays coming up, I think ways of getting money has also changed, so like it's hardly to even get respect for an elderly person that we think say they have not made anything in life. They have not made it in life because at the end we just sat at the back of our computer, we did one or two stuffs, and then boom, this is where we are, like driving big cars and then stuffs. So we think when someone older than us or someone who could even give birth to us is not, like, couldn't do all those stuffs, and then we are doing it right now, we think we are way wiser than those people. So I think with the respect that, like, we when we were growing up, and then we are the same people that switch on that at times. I blame ourselves, and then I at times too, I'm blaming some parents too. Yeah, because we are the same youth. Like talking about all these stuffs, the youth, we are the same youth that has switched. Because I remember my grandmom taught me, like, if you meet someone unemu no kwagye no fa kwagya no wɔ fie ɔka sɛ ɛnyɛ ne sika ɛnyɛ ne sɛ all those stuffs. But it got to a point that me, like, I think that this going to traveling stuffs came in, and then we came here, we adopted some lifestyle from this place. It's like ubia neneba and then those stuff. So at first you could go to your friend's house and then eat something, but yeah, you catch is don't go and eat anything. Obema obeyi enko didi obi fie obiara ne ne bar and then those stuff. So a lot of stuffs. It's a lot.
Okay.
I think everything.
Okay. So Akusia, you migrated here with your kids, right? So you have experience of bringing them up over there in Ghana and then here. Okay. And probably you've seen other kids also growing up with their parents. You probably have friends that have kids and stuff like that. What do you think? Like, how would you compare upbringing in Ghana to Europe or abroad?
Okay, so for me, so for instance, I remember when we first moved here, I was going for an appointment and I went with the kids, and the lady came to me and asked me, how do I do that? And she said, and I asked her, how, what? And she said, how are my kids sitting still, like so organized? She thought I had, like, I was good, like I had, she thought there was some sort of manipulation, she wanted to know how. And it's basically because I have a good relationship with my children, right? So from start, I've had a good relationship with them. I let them know I love them, not just by buying them stuff or anything, by telling them that, look, when you go wrong and I am correcting you or I'm telling you don't do this, it's because I want your well-being. I want you to do better. And if you don't, this is what can happen to you. I talk to them. I'm very communicative with them so they understand, even if they don't understand, but kids understand, they do. Sometimes they see what you're going through and then they're able to process some things and then they change, So in Ghana as well, but in Ghana, I could spank them here to make sure that.
Wow. I was waiting for that. Were you spanked? Were you spanked? Were
In
you
Ghana,
spanked in your childhood? Were you spanked?
oh yes.
Who wasn't? Who wasn't here?
Who
Thomas.
was it?
Nana P.
Okay, well, okay, me myself, my grandmother used to call someone like our neighbor.
To come and discipline you.
Yeah. Because
Nana P wasn't
so
spanked.
she used to call my neighbor.
My mom never spanked me, but in school it's normal.
Even in schools,
I was spanked, but
My
at
mom
home I
be a
was
James Bond though.
Oh, me, my dad, he would wait till 1 a.m. Around 1 a.m. Now everybody who come and save you is asleep. And you shout. By the time that person is coming to save you is there at the door, you have finished receiving your cane. And you know what he used to do too? Because we were 6 girls, he would us up like if we all did something wrong. So he would say, okay, my older sister would take the more, then it comes down. And I was in the middle, so you can imagine for big granny imagine.
See.
Yeah, but you know that. So, I mean, it has it's all. I mean, when it's extreme, it's bad. But then I remember, one thing I remember. I don't know if that's what made me a good student or a smart person, but I remember back in school, right? I was very much afraid of the cane. I have a phobia for seeing the cane or someone standing on top of me with a cane. That thing is like takes me away. So
stretch.
stretch, and that one that you sit down and then before you know you come from your back and pew, pew, at your back. I would die. I'll run away. So if I was told that we're going to have a test and if you don't get a pass mark, you're getting caned. Hey, the way I will pass my test, I will not sleep. I'll wake up in the middle of the night and study. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, mid-year. Like if anybody knows me or knows me, my background, you know that I'm a shark and not dear. So, and that was from like me being afraid of getting caned. So I will study. I will make sure I get it.
Yeah, so what Akosia is saying, me, I don't care. It's my team say me, so I wouldn't even worry too much. At the end, me try, man, transfer the woman you can now.
So Nana P, how would you compare the upbringing?
You know, it got to that point. Like it got to a point. Like Unim say, I know if I go out, my dad will say, "Don't go," but I know if I come back, he'll beat me. So I'll weigh before I go out. Before I take that move. Yeah, I weigh my options. Okay, what am I going to do outside? Okay, is it worth it? That thing too sweets me, right? So I'd rather go and come. They will kill me.
Okay. I for instance, my mom, she had to be strict because, like I said, we were 2 boys, and she was playing the role of both parents. You know, Namasonya Densa, but then bringing up 2 boys, she had to be strict. So my mom is very strict. My mom is very, very strict. She has spanked me a lot.
Wow.
Yeah. Nana P, yeah, back to you. What do you think has changed in recent times? Like, sorry, how would you compare the upbringing in Ghana and here?
Wow. This one is a tremendous because the way we bring up kids here and in Ghana is 2 different things altogether. But number one, you've given birth to your son or your daughter, but mind you, the government eyes is on you 24/7. any communication that goes on in the house, if you don't take care and then you don't communicate well, you're going to be in problem. So you make sure you take very good care of the way you communicate with your child, how you handle her. Because anything she go to the school and then utters a word and say, if you don't take care, your child will be taken out from you. The government will come and take you. But at the end of the day, they are paying you to take good care of the child. They are supporting you in the upbringing of the child. So the child is 18. We don't have these things in Ghana. So you even taking care of your child, you are very cautious of how you are bringing out the words you talk to her. So sometimes if you don't have this bond, as Akosia was saying, this communication vibe with your daughter or your son is very difficult. When they start going wayward, it's very difficult to, tame them. Very, very difficult, not like Ghana. So for Ghana, as we saying, like aunties or like any elder person can say, hey, stop what you're doing, it's not good stuff. But here, a child of, let's say, 10, 15, 8 years, when she's doing something, then an elderly person even say, stop. If he or she wants, she'll stop. If he or she doesn't want, she's going to say, no, I don't care. So, and you cannot do this child anything.
Exactly.
Yes. You cannot do this child. And so sometimes it takes grace, and also we have to communicate with them. If they have problems, we shouldn't leave them alone. You understand? Sometimes this boredom and then this loneliness keep them in their private space. And if you don't take them and then they find comfort in their peers, that is where the problem starts. When they find comfort in their peers, sharing their problems, their ordeals, what they're going through in school, in class. Sometimes we black people, when they have this racism thing in the school, and then they have another, let's say, black person sharing their ideas to them. If you don't take care, and then this person is not coming from a good home, and then they enter into this peer pressure thing, that is where it all starts. And then if you don't take care, you can be the most strict mother or father here in abroad. You can't do nothing about it. So we say charity always begins at home. Sometimes we are fortunate to have this upbringing from home. You understand? We weren't born here. So sometimes this kind of things that we are trying to inculcate in our children here, we are lucky. And then we are blessed to have people, our parents bringing us all this far. Look at what Thomas has been through, Akosia has been through. You think that the son or the daughter will go through a wayward way? No, because there are some path that he or she has trained on, that when he sees the daughter or the son is delving on that path, he can automatically forward say, hey, stop.
Proper guidance.
You understand?
Yeah.
So here is right, no one knows it, but they have to even give it awards. We, the parents here in abroad, they have to give us awards. It's not easy, especially those doing it single. Hush.
Can be frustrating.
It's not easy, my brother.
Yeah.
It's not easy at all. Look, in Ghana, let's say your child is like 5, 6 years. You have an appointment somewhere, and then maybe this child is sick or something like that. Who are you going to leave the person to? But you just go behind your house. Bra Kofi, can you please take care of my child? I'm going to this. I'm coming. Proper. But here, no. It's either you have to pay a nanny or someone who. It's not easy. It's not easy.
You take your child along.
Yes.
Yeah, you take your child along, or you cancel where you're going and be with your child.
So the parents here are doing very, very well by the grace of God. Parents are doing very, very well here. It's not easy. Look, and even look at the language barrier here. You be here like, let's say 1-2 years. We are appointment and stuff like here. It's not like Britain. Like Thomas here in Britain, for you guys are a little bit fortunate, but we here in the foreign languages. When you come here, you have to integrate yourself into the system, get the language before certain things you be comfortable, or else have to forget about it.
Yeah, about it.
So if you want to have, let's say, a good thing, number one, when you come here, especially in, let's say, Germany, Switzerland, Paris, and these foreign-speaking countries, you would have to get integrated into the system, because when they call you right now for, let's say, PTA meeting, they're not going to speak English there. The fact that you don't understand your languages means they're going to have, let's say, mercy on you and say, like, oh, because of Nana P, so I'm going to speak English. No. For the sake of your daughter, you have to learn the language, go and sit in the meeting, understand what they are saying, and then try to apply it on your daughter or your son. You understand? So, Ray, the upbringing from Ghana and then abroad is difficult than Ghana. But if you say you want to do it, you would have to do it for the love of your son in the future and your daughter. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful conversation. It's been a wonderful one. Yeah, our time is up. I think this is where we will bring everything to an end, unless someone has some last words. Like, I don't know, Thomas, you have some last words for us?
No, I'll say, sir. I'll thank you once again, and then Meda will be also. I say, like, we've all learned something from each other's story. So one thing I'll say, I'm not married. I've not given birth. But me particularly, I have my plans that no matter what, I have to go and then start. Like I'll raise up my kids from Ghana because I had no idea I can't.
You can't say.
No. Until say you catch like 14, 15, I'll bring you here, no.
Back.
It's not easy. It's not easy. With what I'm seeing, any experience and I'm getting from other people, no. I mean, I can't.
Drew, you can.
No.
Don't worry, you can. With the help of probably the person you will have the child with, you can.
I know where I'm coming from, and then the way ways that I've been through, no, now I'm saying something. Then Ubeko school, your teacher will also be saying something different. Maybe I can't meet face and do stuff. So go there.
Okay.
At least you might own your own book. You'll be a citizen here, so go there anytime you can come in. So
okay.
you catch like 14, 15, then I bring you here. But
I get some friends where my parents do the same thing. Okay, bond them for a year, then start then they put out some behavior and stuff, then carry them go Ghana.
Oh, my school, there were lots of them there. Yeah.
One of my friends, I went to visit him in London, and then he have got this young guy, like young like I would say this young boy that he was telling him that I'll be taking you to Ghana for holidays. He went to school the next day, told the teacher that my dad wants to take me to Ghana for holidays, and I'm very happy. I want to go. And then the teacher told the guy that the child that we live in forest this century.
We live in forest in Africa.
Yeah, it's not a nice place to go. Like you are going to be like people will kidnap you, and then like said a lot of bad things about our country. And then he came back to my friend, and then he was like, why do you want to do this to me? Don't you love me? And then stuff. And I said, no, I have to take you there so you can get the experience. That was where I grew up. Yeah.
Well, there are lots of things that goes on, like people have certain perceptions, but that will be another topic for another day. Don't worry.
Because me being in Ghana, that I started like some behavior back there that my dad was being straight on me. And imagine I gave birth to you here. You started bringing up some attitude where I can tell you that, Masa, you have to go there, learn something. That place will be able to me a punish you.
No man's land.
No man's land. And now come at the kakra. No matter why enjoy kakra. You see, say life no. The reason.
It'll be easy.
Okay, so
that's why like I don't have any family here. UK, like England, where are they right now? Say me Yaris is here, say me Dawana baby. I have no one here. But baby, if we ban what we've gone through, no, we know we need a limit. Yes, this thing I say so you bet me as on and honey are there. So here, no, bringing up, no, it's no easy cry with what I'm seeing.
Exactly.
Like sister, my big bro said, they also see parents in Europe near Bruce, awards because it's no easy.
Exactly. Mr. Easy said no, say no be easy. So Akusia, your last words.
Yeah, okay. So my words is to women or ladies single-handedly raising their children. I would say have good relationship with your children, and also be mindful of, your children's teachers will call you and tell you, oh, your child did this, he was bad. The child will come home and then they'll go back to school and they're asking the child, how did your mother correct you? How did your father correct you? Like, it's like they're causing something to cause something. And this is how they get into their heads. Like, she's not supposed to do that. And then before you know it, you are being, you're paying for you correcting your child where they told you something is going wrong. So all I say is have good relationship with your children, have good communication. Doesn't mean that, oh, or you're pampering them. Don't be over pampering. Let them know their limits, know your child, and know what is important to them. And when they go wrong, as we're here, you can take those things, those privileges away from them. There's so many ways you can correct your kids aside from being physically abusive, right? So have your limits, have good relationship with your children, know them, and then let's do better than our parents did. They did amazing, but let's do better.
Great. Let's do better. Nana P.
Yo, I just want to add up to what Akosia and my brother said. With what she was saying, like this, I'll beat you with this abusive stuff. It's not going to help our kids. My mom did this to me, and that's really helped me. When I do something she doesn't like, and it's not good, she doesn't yearn at me. She just look at me. She has a way she looks at me. I know, hey, stop. You understand? And then she doesn't get annoyed. Hey, no, she doesn't do that. And I'm practicing this thing on my daughter, and then it's really working, seriously. Because when you force it on them, it will get to a time, it will escalate. You can't do nothing about it anymore. You understand? This is my hand. If I use it to hit a metal, to a certain period of, it will get to a certain time. The feeling in my hands will lose. I can hit
Carlos, yeah,
and then it will not. That is how this reaction happens to our daughters and sons. You understand? So let us be mindful of what we tell them, things we say, and then as parents, our words and our tongue are powerful. Any utterances you make on your child, listen, when they do certain things and it's no good, it have a huge impact on their lives. So we should be careful when they go astray, words we use on them. You have to be mindful of that. And then thank you very much, Ray, for the opportunity. And also,
wonderful.
Thank you very much, everybody. Akosia B. And then Thomas. Yes. Yeah.
Nice meeting everyone.
I believe our listeners have really enjoyed the conversation. I thank you all too for coming. I'm really thrilled to have you all tuned in, my listeners. The guest as well, thank you very much, Anna P, Akosia, Thomas. You made a wonderful show. You made a wonderful show.
Thank you.
Yeah. So this has been the Ray Talks podcast. So you can follow this podcast on all the podcast platforms: Google Podcast, Amazon Music, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Just type Ray Talks podcast. You can also go to my bio page, and then you find the links there. It will redirect you to whichever app you have. Thank you very much. I really hope you tune in next time again. See you next time. Thank you for being a part of this episode of the Ray Talks podcast. Kindly support us by subscribing and sharing to family and friends. See you next time.